Well, that was a better year.
I don't know about you guys, but I definitely had a better year. I finally graduated from college, moved out of my parents' place.
And got a full-time job. Ugh.
Nothing like responsibility, money, and 1/4 of the free time I had while I was in college. It really puts into perspective how fleeting time is and how every moment needs to be savored.
That's why I'm putting my stock in the state of pop music for 2017.
This year was better. It definitely wasn't hard to top the black hole of abysmal that was last year, but it also managed to hold its own as a decent benchmark for a solid standard of pop music. It was no 2015, but I'll take it.
We'll talk about that next video. Today we get mad.
I call 2017 decent rather than great because it did have its fair share of flaws. The main one I never managed to hurdle was the flood of mainstream rap hits that took up a great deal of the Billboard Top 10. Aside from Kendrick and Big Sean, I wasn't really a fan of any of it. I can't describe what Migos is doing that makes them either particularly terrible or different from their contemporaries.
What I can tell you is I hate Quavo.
I use this to lay down the rules for the list. A great deal of the pop music I consume comes from radio.
This may be a surprise, but the greater Cleveland area pop stations do not play a lot of rap.
For this reason, songs like Tunnel Vision, Rake It Up, or Swang will not be making an appearance on my list. They all suck, like, a lot, but I almost can't remember what any of them sound like from memory, so why waste time on them? My other specification is utilizing songs that made the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100. Other than the fact you're looking at it right now, guess which song that disqualifies.
It's pretty easy to call a song that the YouTube vlogger made in one day bad. Don't forget that it's also the easiest thing to ignore, so don't give it more attention than it deserves.
I'm looking at the smash hits, the inescapables, the biggest songs of the year. These are the people who need to answer for their crimes against music, and if we aren't gonna get an explanation, why don't we have a little fun at their expense?
It's time to remove the stains off of 2017. These are
the top 10 worst songs of 2017. Number 10.
Let me blow more air up 2017's ass. I knew this year was good when I realized my best list had more tentatives than my worst list.
This process of piecing lists together is made easier for me because of the list I do halfway through the year. I start putting everything together early and I can make the list I'm currently on with confidence that everything is here. So with a halfway list formed, I just add songs to the respective list as they come.
This year felt weird, because most of the stuff I added late seemed more like honorable mention stuff.
It's more credit to the year as a whole, because I actually don't hate anything at the bottom of this list. They're mostly just frustrating or annoy the piss out of me. Specifically, just me.
And who annoyed me the most this year?
I was lightning before the thunder.
Believe it or not, I didn't want this to make the list. It's innocent enough. The song is surprisingly catchy. Hear half of it and you'll have it stuck in your head for the day.
Something is familiar about this.
Just a young gun with a quick fuse.
This has been done before, but where?
Kids were laughing in my classes.
I got it. It's Royals.
Not a yes sir, not a follower.
Why is it Royals?
There are many statements I never thought I would say, but Imagine Dragons copying Lorde may be one of the most completely out of left field misfires I've ever had to describe. It has the cool, laid-back charm, minimalist beat, and cult of personality lead to convey a message.
Lorde made it about going against the conventional norm. Dan made it about being awesome.
Not a yes sir, not a follower.
We get it, you're the most original artist of all time.
I was lightning before the thunder.
Sure you are, if lightning represents one good song and thunder represents the ominous foreboding of a wasted career.
Just look at the sheer quantity of lightnings to thunders. The word lightning comes up 10 times. The word thunder, 77 times.
And speaking of thunder...
Yeah, this song was destined for me to hate it. The first time I heard Alvin, I was convinced this was one of the worst things I'd hear this year. I could definitely take solace in the thought that nobody would buy this.
Yay, I can eat my words. Top 5 on Billboard. Kill me now.
I can see where the appeal is for this. It's upbeat and kind of fun. It's a song that Dan, what the hell are you doing?
Can you put your hands in your pockets or something? You're being weird.
I can't deal with Dan Reynolds, or this song. It's Royals if it sucked.
And I started the list with something you probably all like. I never learn, do I?
Number 9. Yep, still hate country music. Never liked it, probably never will like it.
You know what? You're right. An intro is completely pointless. You know what it is. Here's Body Like a Back Road.
Body like a back road, driving with my eyes closed.
Congratulations, country music. This is one of the biggest songs of all time to come from your genre. Was it worth it? Are you proud that it happened? Sure would be a shame if it was a metaphorical and literal train wreck.
Back roads also have bad railroad crossings. Another unappealing thing about them.
Maybe we've all been looking at this wrong. Back roads have no traffic and are very often avoided.
Nope, still sounds bad.
Back roads need little to no maintenance for decades.
Also not good. There's gotta be something.
Back roads are easily influenced by nature, from added foliage to dead limbs obstructing their path.
Can't do it. Your body should not be compared to a back road. Tell Sam Hunt to move his ass along.
Firebomb the metaphor. It doesn't work, and not even a savvy 6-year-old would find it funny. So I hate country music. We've been over that.
But is it country music?
Doing 15 and 30. I ain't in no hurry.
Interesting choice. Nothing is truly sexier than a bunch of dudes yelling hey at you.
The most successful country music song of recent memory isn't because it's an amazing song. It's a double-dipping, half-assed mess. Just what pop music needs more of.
Nobody's gonna willingly call this pop music. No country fan is gonna accept Sam Hunt. He's alienated himself far enough that he shouldn't appeal to anybody.
And for the love of God, take this two-timing country shit off of my pop radio.
Tell me why you hate it, but I hate it because there's no reason I should have been exposed to it. And yet, 2017 put it on a silver platter. Thanks, Kiss FM.
Worst country song of the year, worst country artist of the year. Just take all the awards, Sam, and leave us alone.
Number 8.
Another one.
You know, for as much work as the man has gotten over the years, I never had an opinion of
DJ Khaled.
It's like he thinks the more times he says it, the more we're gonna like him.
He never did anything monumental or even bad. He's just here. Last year, I heard something that he did.
Perfect example of the kind of impression he has.
And I remember thinking, why am I supposed to care he did this? It sounded like every generic R&B song from the time. Nothing special or anything, just his 100th song.
I wish he kept making generic stuff, cause branching out is not his thing.
DJ Khaled.
I don't know if you could take it.
What would you like me to start with? Here are your choices. Just pick one at random.
If your opinion is credible, you may like Santana. You might love Santana. You might even go as far to call the thing he did with Rob Thomas the greatest thing to happen to the human race since fire.
All I can say on this topic is overplay is a nasty thing.
Now, Maria Maria is a fine song. At least that's what I assume from the bits and pieces I've heard. That indeed is a nifty riff. By itself, it's great.
Put a shitty DJ Khaled song around it, and it doesn't fit at all.
The sample could be anything, and it would fit exactly as badly as Santana. Rihanna's introduction is like dropping a 600-page textbook on a table.
When I'm with you, all I get is wild thoughts.
Bam, here's Santana, just kinda here, doing what he can to make up for this terrible nonsense that's going on.
Done. Next we talk about Rihanna.
Whether you are biased for or against Rihanna, there is one thing you can't deny, and that is that she is a singer. Good or bad, she sings.
I've never actually heard of Rihanna the faux rapper.
Her entire part is outside of her skill set. The verses are these weird, jagged lines where she sings below her effective range.
I don't know if you could take it. No, you wanna see me naked, naked, naked.
You be the judge. Is this talking or singing? It's a bad sign that I have to ask that.
It's one of those performances that makes you ask, why Rihanna? You could have gotten the same out of Nicki Minaj or somebody less famous.
Oh wait, Rihanna sells.
Instead of this song peaking at 30 and disappearing into a forgettable wasteland of DJ Khaled top hits, it hit number 2. Instantly.
Why not? Rihanna has incredible wordplay here.
Kitty, kitty, baby, get her things to rest. Cause you done beat her like the 68 Jets.
Topical.
What a perfect thing to invoke in your hot and heavy pop song. Nothing like referencing something 99.7% of your listening audience won't get at all.
Did you even get that reference, Rihanna? You're not even 30.
Other than that, the only other lyrical thing I can remember is that great chorus before Santana.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 thoughts.
It does not require analysis. It's shit and you know it.
And do you know who is shit?
I've yet to see DJ Khaled make a statement that makes him separate from other producers other than this nonsense. He's only been Forgettable, DJ Mustard, and most embarrassingly, Scott Storch. Yes, I will go that far. This song is a cultural train wreck maestroed by a delusional hack.
What about Bryson Tiller? Who?
Number 7.
Call me pessimistic, or even biased, but this One Direction split up has been pretty underwhelming.
I tried, guys, but it just hasn't been looking good for the chipper lads from Cointon or wherever. Other than Harry, we've seen an enormous flurry of nothing interesting to utterly abysmal. Zayn utilized crummy production and confusing over singing to suck harder than anybody could have ever imagined. Liam decided to be a skeevy weirdo who tried to copy everything else out. Niall only has 2 modes, boring and over-sexualized. Louis did something. And even Harry's big hit was a boar sandwich.
Jury's out if you can still prosecute for that opinion, so ha!
Plenty of garbage to pick from. But what was the worst standalone 1D song from this year?
Just guess which one.
You know I love it when the music's loud, but come on, strip that down for me, baby.
Yep, big shocker. The song that I said was one of the worst of the year and has been one of the best performing radio songs of the last 3 months is on here. If you haven't seen me tear into this a couple months ago, the link will be at the end of the video. But what haven't I said about it?
I never stated how flat out bad this bass line is.
I've heard quite a lot of defense for this production, but the bass effect is one of the stiffest, whitest melodies I've ever heard. It's so fake, I'm clueless as to how anybody could consider it good.
Here, let me use a similar artist for a quality example.
We should take this back to my place.
Now this is a bass line. It's not complicated or groundbreaking, but I can feel this. Try replicating Steve Mack's work. You sound like a dork.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do.
Well, other than that, Liam still sounds like a kid who's confused as to whether he should remain as the forgettable background of a boy band or try and be Quavo. For the amount of work he's gotten, I wouldn't be shocked if Quavo hasn't made the Forbes 500. And at the same time, there's nothing meaningful he's done all year, including this. And nice try, Steve Mack, but the one big thing you might ever do is an embarrassing copy of everything else popular. If everybody involved here worked on 3 separate projects, they'd be completely forgettable on their own. Instead, it's a trifecta of bad, culminating into the 7th worst song of the year.
Spoiler complete.
Number 6. Have you ever spent so much time hating something that over time you realize that maybe it's not that bad? I'm scaling back on total forgiveness like I did with Clarity, but I still see absolutely no value in this.
Shimmy, shimmy, fuck.
Drink. Swalla la la.
It's been a while since I've talked about our buddy Jason. For 2014, I had both a song on the best list and the worst list. But that's just Jason. You can either fall in love with Cheyenne or hate him endlessly for what you say.
For the record, I'm completely indifferent about both of these.
Swallow is actually the same way. Some love it, calling it a true summer jam.
It does remind me of summer. It's sloppy and overrated.
I set a very low bar in regards to titling a song, with an exception of those with some deliberate overarching theme like 1-800. There is nowhere the title of this song appears.
The new name for this song is Swalla La La. That's almost as dumb as the song itself.
Swalla is an awful word. There's no way to say it without sounding like or being an idiot. It sounds like they just tried to add a nonsense syllable to a word and then
Wa la la.
Actually, I don't know if that's the worst compared to some of these great lyrics.
So you should bring all your friends. I swear that to all of y'all my type.
So he's an enormous phony. I believe that.
Come on, take a sip, 'cause you know what I'm serving. Bad girls gon' swallow la la.
Classy.
Push it back it up, put it on the top. Push it drop it low, put it on the ground.
What are you, 14?
Word to the Dalai Lama.
Hip reference.
Word to Jangaliano.
Too hip overcompensation.
My shit slapping like dude did LeBron nuts.
No, I'll be doing the slapping for you.
So a song called Swalla has shitty lyrics. Big surprise. What is there to like?
Apparently this beat.
There are so many great parts to choose from. How about the verses where it repeats the shitty sped up Macarena over and over and over again?
Young money, young money, young money, young money.
What about the nails on the chalkboard drop that squeals?
Freaky, freaky, yeah.
As hard as I try, I can't find anything in this song that's anywhere close to good. It becomes a product of the summer, the new worst time for music.
Oh, stop your crying. It's just a sign of the times.
Number 5. We're actually wading into the difficult part of my bottom 10. Ordering 6 through 10 wasn't too hard, excluding something I'll talk about later, but I stared at the top 5 for a long while. To figure the order out, I made a playlist of the top 5 songs and listened to all of them.
Do you know how painful it is to repeatedly listen to the 5 songs you hate the most from a year? I could sell this kind of misery to the military.
So upon reanalysis, which song is the prettiest pile of shit?
I've been down so long it look like up to me. They look up to me.
Here we see the fallen king of 2017. Once a holder of 24 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 at once, to a true ass of pop music. Shame.
Let's be fair. What would you do if you went from being the biggest popular music guy to an almost non-famous wash-up? Maybe whine about being underappreciated? Try way too hard and sound like the most ridiculous dick possible? Be literally the worst person to hold a record ever?
I may be a little biased. He wasted a lot of my year.
But how else should he react? He has fake people showing fake love to him straight up to his face. Look how emotional you've made him.
First off, Drake sucks.
This is not how to sound slighted. You need to sound weakened and emotionally drained. What did Drake go with?
I got fake people showing fake love to me, straight up to my face.
Oh, bitchy.
I feel like you couldn't get this delivery more wrong. If he was at least his boring self, even that would be better, because then he at least wouldn't be a pretentious asshole.
Pretentious, huh? What kind of half-baked production goes with that?
Just imagine shitty piano bar shit. I'm not buying this fucking trash, just imagine it.
How about some context?
More Life was all like this. Every song had these weird attempts to sound eclectic when it all became middling and pretty lame. The only thing that set song to song apart was Drake being bad at what he does.
Fake Love goes the extra mile.
Not only is his artsy-fartsy piano nonsense not good, it pushes Drake farther into complete arrogance. The song is bad inside and out. It's also completely forgettable, and I apologize for reminding you it existed.
Give it a week. You'll forget about it again.
Number 4. Conventional music. Society has had it for something like 500 years. I wouldn't know. I'm a YouTuber, for God's sakes. That's a lot of room for music to evolve and become ideal for a listening public. If you need proof, look at the last 50 years as a whole.
So music has been wrung out of as many original ideas as possible. What if I could get an unfinished piece of garbage to get popular?
This song is the sacrifice fly of music. Down is the catchable fly ball. Everything else is the run that scores. It isn't doing itself any favors, but it's making everything around it better and more successful.
Here's a question. Is this even a song?
You've got Marion sounding like her mic needs to be turned up.
Or she could sing with a little bit more confidence.
Barely present in basic piano, and Hill is probably responsible for the shitty beat and the worst thing to happen to pop music since Meghan Trainor.
This can go die whenever it's ready.
It's the perfect dual threat of fucking awful. It's broken vocals and they're shifted. This was bionically engineered to piss me off.
Even worse off for this song, the bar is no longer at the floor. Somebody did broken vocals and pulled it off.
It may have been a risk, but Kygo found the formula that made it work. He wasn't dumb enough to voice shift it, but he somehow made it both fun to listen to and sing along to.
I wouldn't do that around anybody though, or you'll sound like a malfunctioning robot.
It Ain't Me effectively ruins experimental garbage like Gold or Down. Instead of assuming that this couldn't be done, we now know that it can. Not like a low bar would make this incomplete trash any better.
I can say it copied Gold, but it literally ripped the shitty percussion from Gold.
Nice job, guys. You couldn't even make your shitty song at least be an original shitty song. And just like Gold, the lyrics are completely meaningless. You don't need an example. You've already heard the word down hundreds of times.
Is there anything here worth talking about? No, there's not.
Number 3. New artists. New artists? New artists!
Flip a coin. Sometimes they're the shit, sometimes they are shit.
We're hitting an era where it takes multiple talents to get into the driver's seat. Apparently, Julia Michaels has been ghostwriting for Selena Gomez for years.
That explains literally everything.
Many artists write behind the scenes or even produce before they can helm a ship of a career on their own. This person had 11 years of work and finally found a way to jump out.
She even explains it in the song.
I'm sorry, the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now.
Welcome to the big leagues, new Taylor.
Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Look what you made me do, most confusing artist to ever live.
I just don't know what to make of Taylor. One minute she's making a goofy sing-along that's dumb, to a thoughtful self-reflection that's uninteresting, to a stompy revenge track, to a majestic love song. Taylor Swift's fame has given her as much room to experiment musically as she could ever imagine.
2017 has taught me a valuable lesson. Taylor Swift could make music as bad as physically possible, and we'll still buy it.
If aesthetic bad had a measured value, its dimensions would be in Look What You Made Me Do's.
I know this because this song is way too similar to Me Too.
It's pompous, arrogant, and self-indulgent. You can say it's more like I'm Too Sexy, but that isn't taking itself seriously. And the chorus is fairly different.
If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. Look at what you made me do. Look at what you just made me do.
Me Too is a great benchmark for this song, as it helps me explain why this song isn't number 1. Mainly the fact that it's about something other than self-congratulation. Love or hate celebrity drama, it's a topic worth singing about.
Although there isn't much singing in total, and the drama is completely pointless.
Actually, that's all I can give in terms of positives. The production is worthless and never does anything more than be annoying. The lyrics are catty and eye-rolling.
And it has the worst moment of pop music for the whole year.
What? The world moves on another day, another drama.
I feel like every hair on my body just stood up.
I don't even classify that part as music. That's just for Taylor Swift smashing me in the ear.
And that's not all for overreaching hubris. That's the whole song.
But I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time.
Unfortunately, you were never able to become self-aware.
Honey, I rose up from the dead.
Sure you did!
I check it once, then I check it twice. Oh.
Just in time for the holidays! I want a Nintendo Switch, a girlfriend, a storm in tents, respect, 1 million subscribers, some...
That cross-section of the bridge is a perfect sample that illustrates how worthless this song is. Taylor Swift has taken 3 minutes to turn herself into a mustache twirler. The cartoony over-exaggeration makes this song a rightful and ridiculous failure. 2017 was Taylor's garbage dump, and we all are the disposals.
Now I just feel dirty.
Number 2. Has anybody ever tried to make a joke work? As in, something that isn't and never will be funny?
You just keep cranking and then it fills your thing up with sunflower. Sunflower. Oh, that's funny. What?
S-U-N-F-L-O-U-R, sunflower.
Oh. I don't see how that's related to anything.
Ha ha, joke at my expense.
Let's make this into an analogy relating to number 2 here. If somebody keeps trying to tell you a song is good, it doesn't make it good. No matter how good an album is overall, it doesn't make the single stand on their own. No matter how many times you hear it, it will never get better. No matter how much Billboard or alt-rock stations shove this piece of shit down your fucking throat, it will always be the pinnacle of bad. Here's my favorite comment escapade I've had since being on YouTube. A guy was mad this made my so far worst list.
Wow, number 6? That's the most offensive place I could have put that.
He suggested that Believer was the only thing worth listening to on the radio.
Helpful advice, sir. Don't ever listen to the radio. I think you should just stick to nature CDs from now on.
I was tired of this song by the second listen. In addition, I got to hear it on commercials and on my alt-rock station. This song has now ruined the coolest thing about my car.
Well, this is rock music, right?
Rock usually has a kicking chorus with an endlessly memorable singing melody.
You aren't going to forget this nonsense.
Now pretend you actually do like this song.
I know some of you unironically do like this song, and I'm sorry, just play along for now. You'll hate my number 1.
How would you sing along to this? You can't do it seriously unless you really hate being able to talk. I've tried to sarcastically sing with it at 50% power, and it still screws my voice up.
Dan probably guzzles honey while he's on tour.
Singing along is out of the question, especially with the words. The song goes nowhere.
I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh.
Yeah, it must have been terribly demanding to make good music. How fucking exhausting.
That's actually one of the biggest defenses for the song. It's a good piece of an album.
Until we find a way to release an entire album as a single, that defense isn't gonna help this song stand up on its own.
Sorry, I overstepped you there. What were you fired up about?
They look at me, took to me, shook at me, feeling me singing.
Going to break into the rap game. Triplets are huge.
And he's breaking new ground. I've never heard any other rapper dare use bippity boppity boopity in their music.
Oh, shit. Hold on, guys. Ugh. Phew. That part of the song made me roll my eyes so hard they got stuck that way. Goes along with Dan's stupid mannerisms. Put your fucking hands down.
And that's exactly why I love this music video. I could watch Dolph Lundgren punch Dan Reynolds in the face for hours.
Yes. 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 Shut him up. Now go punch the drummer so he lightens up a bit. Use a cymbal, George of the Jungle. Now hit the guitarist so we can quit that incessant noodling.
Tired of the way that things have been.
Play a real riff, you hack. There's no defending this nonsense. It's a complete wreck made worse by pretending it comes from my favorite genre. Now I don't believe anything. Thanks, America.
And without further ado, 2017's honorable mentions. Or with further ado? I don't know, whatever.
Oh, no, no, just be careful, no, no, love ain't simple.
Remember when I got mad at Chainsmoker imitation? These guys are the clear winner of the worst at it. Terrible drop, lame production, and a guy who can't sing.
They're really good at pretending to be bad.
And Demi, no, that isn't your singing range.
Cutting me up like a knife.
Too high.
I just wanna dive in the water.
Too bored. The song is pretty much completely pointless.
Speaking of pointless.
I really hated this song when I was making that whole video on More Life. Then I realized, why expend energy on getting mad at such a useless scream for attention?
Don't feed your bullies.
I'm sure you guys don't remember what this sounds like, and I will join you in a couple years.
Taylor, you're wasting your potential.
Quite an ugly use of your talents. Ugly verse structure, ugly singing, ugly underutilization of your talents.
Do you know how I know this? This chorus is a top 5 of the year.
Wait for the best list where I describe good songs with bad choruses. This song is the opposite. It's horribly misguided until the nearly angelic chorus.
Then she says the title and ruins it again.
Are you ready for it?
This Taylor Swift song is sponsored by Transformers 6, Age of Bad Songs.
My mama calls, see you on TV.
Ooh, did I put an official, unofficial number next to this one? There were two hard parts to ordering this list. Those were the competition between numbers 3 and 4, and whether this or Thunder deserved number 10. I've gotten semi-fed up with Post Malone endlessly bragging about how great he is. You can't fool me. Everything he's done is this and just as boringly lame. Plus Quavo sucks, how original for me to say.
Thunder earned its spot on the list because I hate Dan and The Voice more than anything in Congratulations.
For the record, this is the worst thing made this year that doesn't qualify for the list. I would go as far as to not call this music. This isn't a melody, it's very poorly ordered notes. Nothing is. This whole thing doesn't function. Katy Perry was a train wreck in 2017, and this was her magnum opus. This also doesn't qualify, but I don't think I've heard a song less self-aware than this one.
I also bring it up because it is the funniest thing I've heard in a while.
So what? Still got knives in my bag. So what? So I'm tied to the tracks.
So what? She's getting literally murdered.
But this chorus, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna dance on broken glass. Hey, here I go,
Oh my god.
I'm wondering, can we?
More Chainsmoker imitation, but is it really that bad? This actually sounds alright. Bieber is fine, and so is everything else. Why is this here?
Was that a Juicy J scrunch? Nope. Shut it down. Light it up. Don't let it see the light of day. If this shit gets popular, I fucking quit.
Can we be friends?
Number 1. I said earlier that I had to re-listen to everything in my top 5 to determine their final order. It was a good refresher. I realized I hated Down and Fake Love a great deal less than I thought. Of course, there are two sides to that coin. I'm fairly confident nobody is gonna put Believer as high as I did.
Goodbye, huge potential fan base.
So re-listening did a lot to sculpt the top of this list.
Out of the 5 songs, only one gave me chills. What awful, talent-free person could achieve such failure?
'Cause I got issues, but you got them too.
Welcome to the one-hit wonder club, not Selena Gomez.
Yeah, I wish it was Selena Gomez and not Julia. Not only would this song's success make at least a little sense, but it wouldn't be nearly this bad.
And I'm saying that. Have you heard Selena's new song?
I've been running through the jungle, I've been running with the wolves to get to you.
I'll save that one for next year. Sheesh.
Julia Michaels can only wish she was as talented as Selena, as bad singing is the only thing she does to set herself apart.
When I'm down, I get real down. When I'm high, I don't come down.
These jumps are like getting audibly curb stomped. And I don't even know who. Is she getting curb stomped? Maybe for how random these jumps are. And she does little stuff like this all over the song.
'Cause I got issues, but you got them too.
Please don't clone yourself. One of you is enough.
This background singing is just glorified musical barking. It serves no purpose, exists to be annoying, and will probably stop if you bop it on the nose with a rolled up newspaper.
Bad, Julia.
And one of them is how bad I need you.
Oh no, I've broken her.
No, I jest. She came up with whatever that nonsense is.
Wait, I just got it on my own. But when I need you.
Would you look at that? Get wrecked, guy with issues. It must suck to have allergies, be insecure, unemployed, pathetic, and hope that Julia Michaels needs you.
That is actually an issue. Nobody needs Julia Michaels.
The song is about blind acceptance. You need to blindly accept that you're a tool and she doesn't deserve any of it. Because she's imperfect, and that allows her to come at you with both barrels.
Nice trap.
Here's the thing, and I want you to take this for what it is. I just read the lyrics in an attempt to further beat this song into the ground, and I actually learned what she said at the end of the chorus.
And one of them is how bad I need you.
That is a fucking powerful line. It's a truly revealing sentiment, and it totally redeems everything.
One problem. It doesn't matter if I can't understand it.
I shouldn't need to rely on Google to make this song better. It should be very easily apparent. Instead, I hate this song just as much as the first time I heard it.
Oh, and before I go, can I rip the beat? Please?
I had a weird variety of music that I had to endure in my home as a kid, and one of my least favorites was Enya. Don't get me wrong, she's fairly talented, relaxing, serene.
Boring, plain, pretentious, and lame.
This is what Julia was going for. Alone, it's interesting. Do you know what doesn't fit with it?
Trap percussion.
You get mad and you break things. Feel bad, try to fix things.
That settles it. There's nothing here.
Nothing but a behind-the-scenes puppet master whose voice is allergic to the sun. It's a song with no good aims or purpose.
Goodbye, Julia. See you never.
So how'd I do? I'll just assume bad. Slap your own list down there with your judgment of my incapabilities to judge things. Best list is in production. Give it a bit of time.
But never stop being you. Also, check out my so far list. Maybe you could do that for comparison's sake. Also, here's a playlist of all the stuff I've ever done for pop music, so that's pretty cool. And here's that stripped that down review that I ended up having right here. And, well, here's a call to action on my face. And yes, I am an ad whore.